And now we'll wrap up section 5. We've only got a few fixes to make before we call this done. Let's bring back our control curves. And we'll also go into the side view for this. And notice how the character is slowly moving forward in the Z. When that actually shouldn't happen, he should move forward when he's about to step up. And the reason why that's happening, let's select our center of gravity control and go to frame 261, is because we don't have any keys there in the translate Z for one to keep him back in the position he should be there. So what we'll also do is bring back our feet, not to make any adjustments on them, just so we can make the adjustments we need to on the upper body. So we'll go to our show hide proxy and we'll go ahead and bring it back, and also select the feet and bring back their visibility. There they are. So now on that frame 261, we'll select the center of gravity control, and let's go into our perspective and graph view, and we'll go to the translate Z first so we can see that there's no key there when there actually should be. And if we go to the translate X, let's check that out. Notice how we need a key there too, because if we look, the character is leaned a little bit too far to his right. So we need to adjust that. And we'll start with the X first. What we can do is just go into our translate mode and translate the character till he's balanced again in the X, like that. And then we'll need to move him back some in the Z until we have that bend in the leg like what we had before when we first posed this character. Like that. So now we have keys there as what we should have. And if we go back to the side view and scrub, notice the character is staying in the position that he needs to be in. So once that's finished, we can hide our legs. Let's hide them. And once that's hidden, we'll hide our GUI. Great. So that's adjusted for now. That's preparation for the next section too. And we'll start working on completing the 5th. So for it, let's go ahead and select the head control. What we want to do is make the animation really show impact, really show the impact of weight hitting the chest. And we can do that by animating the head control, move him back on impact. So what we'll do is go to frame 201 where the weight does hit the chest, because remember, we don't want any anticipating. We wouldn't want the head to start moving before that. So we want it moving right on the impact on frame 201, and we'll press Shift W. Okay, and Shift E to key our translate rotate channels there, just so we can isolate our movement. Then we'll scrub back and we'll go to frame 206. We'll just use that key, and on that frame, let's go ahead and rotate the head back in the X. And notice how the neck is kind of detaching, or the head's detaching from the neck. So we'll just go ahead and translate the head forward some there. So that's not the case. So here's what we get when we hit play. Bam, the head goes back on impact, and we can work on some follow through afterwards. Let's add that follow through on frame 220. And on frame 220, what we'll do is rotate the head forward slightly since it was moving back, and we'll also make sure we translate it forward some too. Okay, so when we hit play, here's what we get. And what we can do to see our animation more clearly in that section, see if we like the movement, is of course a play blast. So let's hide our NURBS curves, and we can play blast from here because we just want to focus on the character's head. So we'll just do a render from here. Here it is. Notice now we're getting a better feeling of impact from that weight hitting the chest just by doing a simple tweak to the head movement. And once that's completed, we just have one more thing to do to complete this section. We'll bring back our control curves, and what we want to do is make sure that the hands are staying on the barbell, because notice how they are coming off. So we'll want to adjust that really fast. So what we'll do is select the hands, and with them selected, let's go find the areas where they're coming off. Like for example, on frame 198, what we can do is just translate our hand controls to make sure that they're still on the barbell as they should be. So let's make sure of that. And remember to check the animation in more than one view to make sure everything's looking right. Like for example, this Then we could tweak this left hand a little bit more, bring it back some. And the Z, just to make sure it's on the bar. And the right hand's fine, so now we'll select it again and continue. And notice right there on about frame 202, the hands are coming off there. So we'll go ahead and translate them forward and down some. And we'll check out the animation or our pose in all views or more than one view to make sure that it's fine. Make sure that our pose are fine, and it sure is. So we'll keep going just to make sure there's anything we perhaps left out. We definitely need to adjust them on 196. So let's do that. We can translate them up some and back. And let's check out this left hand. Select it. And I think we'll move it back a little bit more. Probably up some. Not much. Okay, but that's the hands. Let's scrub through to make sure that they're still staying. And they sure are. Alright, awesome. Let's make one more tweak. With the barbell control, we'll select it and go to frame 192, and notice how we need to bring it back some here. So on frame 192, we'll just translate it back slightly in the Z. Like that. Scrub through. Looks fine. And that's it. That's all we needed to do to finish up this 5th section. We can now move on to the next lesson, where we'll begin working on the 6th, where the character throws a weight above his head.